You are now listening to F&B Radio.
And welcome to F&B Radio. My name is Lindsay Collins and I am your host. I'm in one of those phases that I get into about every 3 months where I try to give a fuck about Instagram for F&B Radio, you know? And it's just really hard for me to understand what Instagram wants from me. And I've said that so many times on the show that it's not even worth if I had $1 for every time I said that on this show, I wouldn't have to do this show for free. You know, I wouldn't have to do this show for free. That doesn't make any sense. But you know what I'm saying? I would just be so rich that I could just not do anything but just say that and get dollars for saying that. But I truly don't understand. And then I'll see stuff. You know how you're in the grocery store line and you see these insane tabloids? Truly, I want to do a sort of a long format exploration into tabloids and what they mean about us and just the absurdity of them at all. How insane, some people say the truth is in the tabloids. Some people say it's just something that it's an itch that people like to scratch, that people just want to read some fucking trashy drama or read about some diet that's insane that truly doesn't make any sense and isn't healthy, but they fall for it every time. They're like, what? Lose 20 pounds in 10 minutes? Are you serious? I'm going to open that. It's just clickbait. It's the original clickbait. So it's not really anything too terribly insightful regarding tabloids. It makes me just puzzle over how the human brain works and why the human brain thinks that there's some sort of shortcut or quick fix or magic pill or magic bullet or whatever those sayings are. Genie in a bottle. People are humans are obsessed with wishes, right? They're that could work. You'll see something just so absolutely not possible. And this is a long-winded way for me to say this, but I basically, I read something in my scroll hole. I'm just in a scroll hole on Instagram being why do I spend so much time on here? And yet I don't. And I'm not discounting the followers I have because I love engaging with the people who actually listen to the show, that follow the show on Instagram. That is truly the only reason I'm still on there. But my following, I can't care about it enough for long enough to actually grow a following. I just inevitably get bored with it and just kind of put it down or phone it in for a while. So I feel I've been in one of those phases heavy where I'm just posting when I have something going on, but I'm not going for it with any sort of strategy. I'm just kind of throwing spaghetti at the ceiling. And I read something when I was in a scroll hole. And it was I posted a reel a day and the results were unreal. My following grew to 10K in 3 days. And it literally says stuff like that. And I, in my human brain, in my wishful state was for real? Okay, that is cool. I'm going to do that. I can make a reel a day. So I made a reel a day for 4 days. And today was really the end of that, because not that I'm not going to make reels anymore. I'm going to keep trying because I'm one of those people that just wants to succeed at whatever the thing. It could be going to the dentist. I want to succeed. I want to be the best dentist patient. In fact, you guys know, thank you for your concern. Everybody was hope your dentist appointment went well. I really appreciate that. It did go pretty well, but I want to be the best at the dentist. I want to be someone that they'll be oh, here comes a good patient. And you know what is insane? They do say that. And I'm not just making this up or bragging. I was in there and my favorite hygienist was Lindsay, I missed you. And I was thanks. You noticed I've been dodging my appointments again. And she was yeah, but you know what? You're just such an easy patient. And I was I knew it. I know people suck when they come to the dentist. I know people suck when they go through security at the airport. I know people suck when they stand. No matter what I'm doing, I'm trying to do it the best. So I cannot escape that angle when it comes to Instagram. I'm I'm going to post a reel every day and do what that person told me. And so I can be good at it. Like, finally, be good at it. And I posted a few and they were like doing pretty good. Like, I was like, okay, engagement's kind of up. This is working. That person was right. And then I posted a reel of me making overnight oats and people were like, fuck that. Fuck, hell no. No. Overnight oats? You guys hated these overnight oats. Like, it was like all of the internet got together and voted that they hated this. Like, it was embarrassing. Like, I almost deleted the reel, but I just had to laugh so hard. I was like, I have to leave it up, even if it only has 36 views, like total all day. 5 days later, it's probably going to go down. If people could unwatch it, they would, and the count would go lower. But I just made me laugh because I thought I was sharing, like, and this is why I can't get down with Instagram, because I thought I was sharing something so cool for you guys, and everyone hated it. It just, no one wanted to watch it. It didn't get shared. It didn't, and it makes me just confused because I'm like, why do you want to watch me put together a tuna niçoise sandwich? And that's fine. But then overnight oats, you're like, that's where I draw the line. And maybe it's because they're like, I don't know, like some new version of avocado toast. But I just wanted to give my plug here for overnight oats because I think you guys really slipped up and fucked around and didn't care about the overnight oats when it may be one of the most valuable things I've ever shared with you. So I'm carrying this conversation over to the podcast because I was like, you know what? I'm back on the train of like, fuck Instagram in that way. You know, like, fuck trying to grow my Instagram. Like, I'm clearly never going to be able to understand what it takes, or I'm not willing to do what it takes to grow it. So I have to move on and just post at whatever kind of pace feels right for me. And I think that's good advice across the board because maybe that's why people are like, what's happening? What are you doing? But I just discovered overnight oats. And I just want to like preface this with, I've been making oatmeal, I don't know, sometimes twice a day since I had kids. So like even the sight of oatmeal kind of makes me want to throw up. Like I don't crave oatmeal. I'm not like, ooh, can't wait to get up. I'm not Goldilocks. Like I don't want to wake up and eat a hot bowl of oatmeal. I'm not trying to like get a ripping hot bowl of porridge with my bear family. Like I sort of detest oatmeal. So does the internet apparently. But I had never had overnight oats. And there was this one person who kept telling me about the overnight oats at Baba's. And they're like, dude, you got to try the overnight oats at Baba's. And me, much like Instagram, was like, oh my God, dude, no fucking way. Like way back in the day, my mom used to babysit this little baby in our town. Like we went to a really small church and this woman had a baby and she was like a working mom. So she was like, hey, you're at home with your kids all the time. Can I bring this baby over and you watch it? It's like basically just a nanny. I don't know why I'm describing it so bizarrely, but my mom was nannying for this woman. And the kid was always sick. Like sometimes it went to daycare, so it was always sick. And then it would come to our house like 2 days a week, just absolutely pouring snot. Like not even snot, like it was more than snot. It looked like just boogers, like, you know, like a kid's boogery nose. And my older sister was like, ew, oatmeal looks like Ashley's boogers. And she like made that statement one time at breakfast. And I could never recover from that. I really wasn't able to eat oatmeal for the rest of my life because I was just like, the correlation was so accurate that I was like, oh my God, dude, I can't, like, this is disgusting. There's just too many other things to eat for breakfast, first of all. Like oatmeal, I don't know. I don't get it. And I say all that to say, I'm a changed person because there's something about overnight oats that is different. And I just want you guys to hear me out because the reaction was not even bad. It was just non-existent. People were just indifferent to it, which I think, you know, to quote a friend of mine, is worse than hating it. I'm indifferent to it, which is worse than hating it. And I do feel like that about oatmeal until now, because overnight oats and oatmeal are not the same. And this is what I learned. This is what I was missing. And this is what I think everyone is missing. But I finally broke down and was like, hey, I need to find something that is got fiber, protein, that's quick, that's not me like making a salad with shallots and lemon vin every morning. Like I do that when I have time, but like things have really ramped up for me recently where I'm like, just like, so I don't want to be like the busy person, but I have been really, really busy. And when I get really busy, as much like anybody, you stop kind of feeding yourself the way you should. You're like eating, snacking, or like catching something on convenience or waiting all day to eat. And I was just like pissed off all the time. So I was like, I have to get some sort of breakfast in that's like, balanced and good for me and easy. And nothing was working out. Like I just couldn't get straight. I was in a weird rut. And so I finally tried this overnight oatmeal. Actually, what sold me on it was that it was overnight oats, not meal. Because when people say oatmeal, they just really shut down. But when you say overnight oats, people are like, trendy. And this one was like, I don't know. I looked up a bunch of recipes and I was like, what sounds good that doesn't have like a ton of sugar? Because that's the other thing. If I eat a lot of sugar in the morning, which is my favorite thing to eat in the morning, like I would rather have a pastry for breakfast than just about anything. But I decided, I need something that's going to be like easy on my blood sugar. And like I said, full of fiber and protein. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to make one of these. And I found this amazing recipe and it was just, I had everything to make it. So I was like, I'm going to do it. Oat milk without any like oils in it, oats, cocoa powder, maple syrup, coffee. And that was it. Salt, maybe. Like it's really, really basic. Oh, yeah, maple syrup. I said maple syrup. And chia seed. That's like the ultimate one because chia seed, A, is so good for you. And it's something that I just like usually only get in a smoothie. But it's amazing. It's one of the most, if I'm saying this right, like easily digestible sources of fiber and most like potent sources of fiber that your body can digest. Anyway, so I was like, all right, you know what? That sounds like a brownie. I'm gonna make that. So I mixed it all up. It's super easy to make. You just dump it in there. You mix your oat milk and your water. I mean, not water. Your oat milk and your whatever the fuck is in there. All that shit I just said. You stir it up. You put it in a jar. You forget about it. You don't cook it. You don't do anything to it. You just put it in a little glass jar and you put it in the fridge. When I was making it, I started like smelling all the smells and like it was looking kind of like an oatmeal chocolate cookie in the bowl. Like I was like, this looks like cookie batter. Like I started getting I was salivating for these overnight oats that were not ready. I was like, that's part of it. Soaking them actually retains the minerals and a lot of the nutrients that are in oats naturally that when you boil them or steam them or cook them and heat them in any way, they are evaporated out or cooked out. They're still good for you when you eat them hot, but not as much. You lose a lot of the minerals, which is something that we all need and really don't get enough of. I don't know why this is a health podcast now, but anyway. So I was like, okay, they're not ready. I just got to wait. But I went to bed so excited. Maybe this is because I'm 37 now, but I was so excited. I could barely sleep. I was like, God, I want to eat those overnight oats. I don't really want to wait overnight. I just want them to be oats now, for now. And I woke up like a kid on Christmas, like so pumped. I had high expectations for these oats. Like no way they were going to be as good as I thought they were. And boy, was I wrong. They were even better. And I know I'm not alone in this because I was like, Jeremy, go with me on that. Like try this weird cold oatmeal. And he tried it and was like, holy shit. And his reaction was the same. And I was just like, man, they're so like satisfying to eat. They're so quick. They keep you really full and like, don't spike your sugar. Like it's a really nice way to start your morning. Like if you're somebody that gets up and exerts a lot of your energy in the morning or like want to get your brain going, or if you're creative in the morning, like I am, like I really hit the ground running and I need something that's going to keep me going and fuel my body. Like I would love to just eat, sausages and scrambled eggs and pancakes and all my favorite foods every morning. But I'm like, I kind of have to like have a weekend to get that in. So I like to eat something kind of balanced. And it just like immediately was such a nice morning. I was less moody. I was like so sated, like just felt really good after I ate and was like, I think I'm going to get outside and take a walk. Like I just was at one thing after the next, just kept going better and better for me as a result of eating these overnight oats. And this particular recipe, like I said, had a little cold brew in it. So I also got my coffee kick. Like there was just nothing that I didn't love about these overnight oats. And so in my secret shame, I was like, oh God, like every, like I said, hipster girl is out there like overnight oats, avocado toast. Like it's so cliche. So I was like, I'll just keep these for me. I don't have to tell everybody everything I do. Like I don't have to be like on my overnight oats soapbox. But then as the days went by, I was like, I thought I would get bored of them, but I didn't. I just loved them even more. And my love grew deeper for these overnight oats. And then I started experimenting with other overnight oats. And I got like a cinnamon roll flavor. I started looking up all these flavors because, like, to be fair, you can put a bunch of junk in them and then they're not that good for you. I was like, okay, I don't want the ones that are super sugary and junky. Like I want them to be clean, but like delicious. And you can even make savory overnight oats, which I haven't gotten into, but I'm going to tell you because now I'm like, I'm open about it. But I made the cinnamon roll one just to switch it up because I was like, okay, we had the chocolate like mocha a couple days in a row. I'm going to switch it up. And so I made the cinnamon roll one with no real expectations because I was like, okay, cinnamon roll. Yeah, right. It's not going to taste like a cinnamon roll. Don't try to trick me with your healthy food. And then this one had rolled oats, chia seed, check. Oat milk, check. Coconut yogurt, double check. I'm obsessed with coconut yogurt as it is, especially the brand Coco June. Trust me, it's unbelievable. I don't like almond alternative like yogurts. They're just too weird tasting, but coconut is a vibe. So that coconut yogurt I had in my fridge. Torn dates. It called for raisins, but I didn't have raisins. And also I don't think raisins belong in a cinnamon roll. I know that they're part of them. And I know that growing up when I would go to Hardee's with my grandpa, he would hit me up with those cinnamon rolls that had the cinnamon biscuits that had raisins in them. And I was like, because it's a cinnamon biscuit, I'll pick around the raisins, but I fucking hated the raisins. Now I'm a grown up and I can eat raisins. I won't pick them out, but it's got to be the right application. Like raisins in like a sauce with a brick chicken. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like raisin bran even. Absolutely. Raisins in an oatmeal cookie. Fine. It's pretty okay. But just raisins, like, I don't know, willy-nilly, maybe not. So I was like, I don't know. I don't have raisins. I'm going to use dates. And I just tore them with my hands and like put little pieces in. Chopped pecans, which gets you nuts are so good for you. And it adds like a texture to the overnight oats, which I fucking loved. And maple syrup. This recipe called for brown sugar, but I left it out and just used the maple syrup. And it was so good. And what else was in there? Vanilla. A little bit of salt, obviously cinnamon, and I think that's it. Chia seed. Yeah. Anyway, I posted the recipe on the reel you guys hated, but no one cared. But if you want to make them, the recipe is on my Instagram. And I was like, okay, we'll give this one a shot. And if it sucks, I'll go back to the mocha one. No, it was full on. Like the whole family was like attacking this bowl of overnight oats. Like it's not just me. It's not like that I've turned into like some kind of health nut. They're just undeniably delicious. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Overnight oats are amazing. That's all. And then I was like, you know what? I'm so fired up about these. I'm going to post a reel and people are going to lose it. They're going to be like, wow, it's so easy. And no one, it was like Instagram shadow banned it. Maybe Instagram doesn't want you to know. Maybe it's like, hey, we're only promoting stuff that's bad for you. Like more social media and, porn. Maybe that's what they want you to see. And like people with diet tricks or something that are like, here you go. Have you ever seen those? Like when you know you're deep in the weird part of the internet, when you're just getting these ads of like toenail fungus and you're like, what the fuck? What am I doing? Is that just me? Am I doing something wrong where I'm like scrolling through just like a recipe? I'm not even looking at anything weird or like in some rabbit hole down the internet like that. I know that kind of stuff like appears there where it's like tempting you into the dark web, but these are just like, it'll be like some weird, like want to do this colon cleanse. And it's just sliced bananas boiling in some disgusting foam. And they're like, put this in your intestine. And you're like, what are you telling me to do? Like everything about this is making me want to puke. Like it's just disgusting imagery. Like zits being popped, like just, you're in like a weird tier of the internet when that's the kind of ads that get served that I'm just like, what, who's stealing my identity when I click on this? Or an alternate question, whose toenails are looking like that they're like, finally, somebody can help me. Somebody knows how to fix this. I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm just like out there trying to find like a recipe for pantry pasta, and I have to be assaulted with toenail fungus and colon cleanses. It's just the shit that I'm like, I don't know how, this isn't what I signed up for when I was like, cool, the internet. But anyway, I guess the lesson learned is like, don't put yourself in any weird shapes on the internet. Like if it doesn't feel right, like even me, a seasoned vet who's like learned my lesson a million times with Instagram, which is like, don't play Instagram's game, like, and I'm not saying don't post. I'm like, if posting is working for you and it's like something you enjoy and your audience enjoys it and it's like just green lights all the way, like keep on keeping on. I love it. I love to see it. I'm always jealous. I'm like, how come I can't like come up with that much content? But yeah, if you're just not in that vibe, don't force it, because you'll put your heart out there and it'll just get stomped on. You'll put your little oatmeal heart out there. People will just turn away. And now I know. So I'm like, I'm still making you guys listen to it because I feel like I just couldn't add enough context into the Instagram reel. Clearly it didn't translate, and I knew it wouldn't. I kind of was like at the top, I just wrote in the caption, I was like, there's nothing sexy about these, but I'm trying to tell you, if you want to change your day, make a thing of cinnamon roll overnight oats before you go to bed and wake up and just be fucking mind blown. It feels like you paid someone to come in and like make you breakfast. It's so, I don't know. There's just nothing like that. Nothing that nice has ever happened to me where I was just like, oh my God, for such a little bit of effort, here I am kicking this day in the ass. I almost said asshole. I don't think that's, I don't know why. I don't know. I'm all fired up. I'm kicking people in their assholes for not liking my Instagram presence. Man, that's your Friday PSA. There's just only so much I can convey on Instagram. That's why it's good that I have this, so that I can really subject my audience to a deeper, longer story that they're probably still turning away from. Like, how many of you are still listening? Just DM me. DM me and let me know if you listened to this episode all the way through. I think you should make overnight oats. If you're not into that, that's okay too. But if I put it in like a tabloid format or like some sort of clickbait, would people click on it? They probably would. I think that's like the fucking sucky thing about Instagram. If I had been like, I lost 47,000 pounds eating overnight oats, or like if I played it like that and spun it like that, it would just get shared, incessantly. But if you're just trying to tell people how to start their day nice, it's not edgy enough. Instagram wants you to make someone wish something. It's like a tabloid. I've really solved my own problem. Thank you for letting me talk it out, because I was like confused why someone would be not excited about overnight oats. But I can't know everything, you know? I'm just one podcaster. And I've been podcasting more than ever. I'm excited about doing 2 shows a week. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope your weekend is awesome. And I'm not telling you have to make overnight oats, but I am telling you that if you do, or if you already make them and you're also like silent about it, you can always talk to me and share your recipes. I would love to know, because I'm just getting started. If you don't think I'm going to do like, oh my God, like every different version, I'm going to dial it in so hard, because I never want to live in a world where I wake up and don't have a jar of delicious, nutritious breakfast ready to go. I mean, if you can at one time think of it like boogers, and then in your adult life flip it around, and not only flip it around, but love it. I mean, what can't you do? I hope you guys have a great weekend. I love you. Thank you for listening. You can rate the show. You can, you can go on Spotify. Apparently everyone listens on Spotify now. Do it. I'm going to put a poll up about overnight oats. Who's made them? Who loves them? Do you hate them? Do you love them? So take my poll on Spotify and let's settle this once and for all. Let's take it to, take it to the streets of Spotify. We'll duke it out. See you next week. Bye. Bye.
Je laisserai un mot sur le frigo. Déciderai de se faire la malle. Ta famille, les amis.